Welcome everyone to my channel. For those of you who are new, I want to welcome you to a new Helium 10 course so you can learn how to use all its tools. In this video series, we're going to look at the different tools available, how to use them, strategies, and absolutely everything about Helium 10 so you can get the best results when selling on Amazon. For the first video, we're going to look at the BlackBox tool, a tool that, for me, is essential and that all of you should use to find profitable products and avoid sales problems later on. We're going to look at the different ways to analyze products and find the best ones. I won't waste any more of your time, so let's get straight to the point. For that, we're going to use the BlackBox tool. You can use it by going to Products, and here it is, BlackBox. Once inside, we see this panel with lots of filters. Now let's take a look at what each one of them does. But up here, we see different ways to search for products. We can search by product itself, meaning it will show us products. We can search by keywords, by competitors, by niche. There are a few more, but these are the main ones. In this case, in this video, we're going to look at how to search by products. Later, in future videos, we'll look at different methods. First, we need to select the marketplace where we want to sell, where we want our products to appear. So in this case, I'm going to choose Amazon United States. Alright? If you want to sell in Spain, then choose Spain. If you want to sell in Italy, then Italy. France, or whatever it is, okay? Select the marketplace where you want to search for products. And now we're going to click here on Advanced. If you have it set to simple, you'll see very few filters and the search won't be as accurate. So we set it to Advanced, and now all these filters appear. First, we need to select the category of our product. So here, just choose whatever you want to search for. If you want to look for automotive products, car products, then select that. If it's baby products, then choose that. Electronics, home, and kitchen products. As you can see here, there are tons of categories to choose from. If you want software, pet products, you just select all of this based on the product you want to analyze. Alright? Now let's move on to the reviews section. Here, I always recommend setting a maximum number of reviews, maybe around 1,000. Okay? This way, you won't get products that are highly competitive with a lot of competition. The review rating is important to set. I always usually set a minimum of 4 stars, so you avoid getting bad products. If you don't set anything, you might end up with products that have 2 or 3 stars, and we don't want to look for low-quality products that people aren't happy with, because if not, the same thing will probably happen to us. And now I have a gift for you. I know how important it is to use tools like Helium 10 to create and scale your business on Amazon. There are people who decide not to invest a small amount of money in this, in having complete tools, and in the end, their competitors overtake them and it ends up costing them much more. That's why I've managed to get 2 really good discounts so you can use all the Helium 10 tools and achieve the best results in your Amazon business. You can choose between a 20% discount for the first 6 months or a 10% discount every month with no limit. So now you know, the link is in the description. There are other strategies, though, which we'll see later, where you can actually use this, but we'll get to that. Those are more advanced strategies. There are more filters here, for example, the Listing H filter. If we want new products to show up, we can set, for example, a maximum of 6 months or a maximum of 12 months. That way, you'll get new products. You might even find trends or products that have just been invented and don't have much competition yet, so you can set that too. I usually don't fill that in, okay? Number of competitors, same thing. Here, you can choose how many competitors you want for your product. I'm going to set it so I want a maximum of 2,000 competitors, for example. If you see a product with 10,000, 15,000, or 20,000 competitors, well, that's quite a lot. Obviously, it depends on the market. In the United States, everything is more competitive. In Spain, if you see a product with 20,000 results, it means there's a lot of competition. So if you don't have a lot of capital, it's going to be tough to get into those kinds of products. That's why I always recommend filling out this filter to make sure you get products that don't have too much competition. 2,000 sellers is fine. If you want to be even more selective, you can set it, for example, to show you products with less than 1,000 competitors. As you can see, we've skipped some filters that aren't really relevant, okay? The ones I'm going to explain are the most important and the ones that will give you good results. Then this, for example, searching by brands, by sellers, and so on, is kind of a waste of time. You don't need to fill that out. Price. This one is important because here we're going to define what kind of products we want to see. Whether we want cheap, expensive, or mid-range products. I always usually recommend setting it between $20 and $60 or $70 or euros. Alright, let's set it to $60. This way, you'll get products in that price range, which can give you a better profit margin. If you sell a product for 10 euros and it has a 10% margin, that's just 1 euro. If you sell a product for 50 euros and it has a 10% margin, then you're already making quite a bit more. So, that's why I recommend setting prices that aren't too cheap. Price change, you don't need to fill anything in here. And now we move on to the income section, which is also important. We have to divide it into two options. On one hand, we have the parent listing option, and on the other, by ASIN, that is, individual listing. What does this mean? With individual listing, we can set it so that the listing only appears if it has a minimum revenue of 10,000 euros. So you'll see a specific product, and that specific product generates 10,000 euros in revenue. If we put 10,000 euros here, for example, this is at the parent listing level, meaning all the variants. If a listing, for example, has 5 variants, one variant makes 2,000, another 3,000, another 4,000, and the total of those 5 variants is 10,000 euros, then it will show up there, okay? But maybe you'll see a product that's generating $2,000, but since it's grouped together with other variants, the parent listing, so to speak, is making $10,000 or euros, whatever you put. So I always recommend putting it here instead, okay? That way, you'll see individual products that are generating at least, well, whatever amount you set, 5,000, 10,000. I usually recommend setting it at around $10,000 or euros minimum, okay? This way, you'll get products with a certain level of sales. Don't look for products that are only making $500 or 500 euros, because that's not what we're after. Now, as for sales volume, meaning by units, well, this is a bit relative. If you want to set it so that they sell at least 200 units per month, you can do that. Although I usually pay more attention to the revenue, but anyway, you can set it. And that's about it. The other filters aren't too relevant. The ones we've just seen are the most important and the ones I recommend you use to get the best results. Now we're just going to click search. Now, here we're going to get a big list of products that meet the criteria we set earlier. In this case, I get 200 products. If you add more filters, the search will probably narrow down and you'll get fewer results. But it's true that the search will be more specific to what you're looking for. In this case, what we need to do now is take a look at the table, check out all the data, and see which products interest us. This is what I usually do. I look at a few products, see if I'm interested. For example, this one looks like some kind of liquid. Maybe it has chemicals, so if I don't want to complicate things, I just skip it. I don't know. I'm not really sure what this other one is, but if it's something with ceramics, if it has ceramics, glass, anything fragile, if you don't want to make things too complicated, just skip it. And you keep looking for products that are simple and easy to sell. For example, let's take a look at this product. This product, which looks like it's made of iron, seems to be for something related to tractors. It sold more than 200 units last month and sells for $35. It probably has a pretty good profit margin. We'd have to analyze the competition a bit, but it could be an interesting product. Now, this other one, for example, the first one that comes up, let's take a look at it. It's a trailer hitch ball, it seems. Yes, a trailer hitch ball. It sells for $38, had more than 300 purchases last month, and has 3 variants, which we'll look at in the data in a moment. So, well, it could be an interesting product that probably also has a good margin. And this seller could be making a good salary every month just with these 3 variants. Now, about the data. The most important ones are the ones you see here. The price, well, this product, 45 euros, although hear it. Sorry. Although it says 38 here, that's the list price. You can see that right now it's on sale for 38, but the regular price is usually around $45. Sales are shown at the variant level, that is, at the parent level, and sales are also shown at the individual ASIN level, like I mentioned before. Remember that we set it so that products would show up that, individually, generate at least $10,000 a month in revenue. So this product we have here is generating $18,500 a month in revenue. But it's true that at the parent level, across all the variants, the 3 variants it adds up to $31,000 a month. This is what I was referring to earlier, okay? So you can see it could be an interesting product. This is how I analyze it. If, for example, this one interests me, if this one catches my eye or I like it, I add it to a list, I just click here, add to my list, and it gets added to the list. This way, I keep adding the most interesting ones to the list. You need to spend some time here analyzing, and the ones you find most interesting, you just add them to a list. To go to the list and see which products you've added, you just click here on products and then go to my list products, okay? And they'll show up here. As you can see, I've added this one and this one. So here you have the products and all the information. This way, you can keep better track of the ones you like. And now, to analyze your product's competition and find out which terms are most relevant, we're going to copy, for example, this phrase from the product. We go to the magnet tool, Product Magnet, and here we paste the phrase from our product. We select the market and click here on Get Keywords. This way, we'll get a big list of terms related to our product. What we want to know is which of those terms is searched for the most, in other words, which one brings in the most sales. So, to do that, we sort them here by search volume. And you can see that they're now sorted from highest to lowest, and in this case, this search term comes up, which has 44,000 results per month, but it's not very relevant to our product. This one isn't very relevant either, but this one, for example, is starting to be more relevant. We see that it has 17,000 searches, so that matches up with the sales we're seeing. Now it would just be a matter of checking the competition it has. To do that, we come here, this is the product, and it shows that it has more than 30,000 competitors. So, that's quite a lot. We'd have to see if our product actually fits under this term, because maybe this is for a trailer, for a truck, and our product might be for a car or a van. You have to look at everything in detail, but this way you can figure out the competition and know which are the most visited terms for your product. And that's the method for finding products using the BlackBox tool. As you can see, it's pretty simple. It's just a matter of spending some time and looking for the most interesting products. In the next video, we'll look at different ways to keep searching for profitable products, and you'll see that some of them are even better than the one we've covered in this video. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think of this method and if you've managed to find any products. And as you know, there's a Helium10 discount in the video description, so you can save quite a bit of money throughout the year. That's all for now. See you in the next video.